And, and boom. Welcome back to the Fat Earth Comedy Cast. We got episode 30 coming at you today. I'm joined as always by Big Jimmy. What's the word, my man?
Hanging 10, bro.
Oh, hanging 10 indoors. There's nothing better than it. But it is May 1st, and the weather is changing for the better.
When's the last time you filled your gas tank? How long have you made it on one tank?
I filled it the other day, but it was like $20 and the thing was overflowing.
But how long had you gone? Had it been a while, or are you on the go a lot right now?
I'm kind of a guy that's on the go. It depends. It was like usually I was filling up maybe twice a week. Now I'm filling up once every other week, so I'm not really going that far. But yeah, I was filling up my car with gas. Windy as shit. I pulled the fucking tube out, and this thing just sprayed gas all over me.
That's right. I forgot. This
Yeah, and
dude.
then you like the smell. You're sitting in the car, you're like, oh, I like this smell. But
Well,
then
you're an
after about
electric car feeling kind of guy. I'm surprised you haven't gotten one yet. You're not a petroleum based dude.
let
You,
that big dick swing in.
you're going to high school parties as a hippie. You got that hippie
Hmm.
mentality in music. I'd like to see you in an EV soon, preferably a driverless, because I don't know if I trust your driving skills. Although
Nope.
I'm the one that crashed cars from 14 on, I
Right,
shouldn't be
right.
passing judgment. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Shout out to episode 29 where Jimmy gives a little underage driving advice.
Yeah, I like the part I listened to last night, and I go, and this guy's asking me why I'm so good at driving. You go, wait a minute, and that's
Yeah.
how in tune. See, the thing with Mo Fungus is he's on multiple casts. All
He's
right,
anxious, folks. He's
and
real anxious.
he really has a good ear for this thing. He actually is really paying attention to your story when you're telling him. Unlike me, where I go off into cloud nine and then I come on back and I feel like I never saw the movie or heard the story for that matter. And
Right,
you could
right.
tell it to me again, and I feel like I'm going to see Infinity War for the third time.
Well, sometimes it's hard, especially if you're trying to pull up some kind of like picture. You got to listen to one guy, you're typing with another, the same part of your brain's being used when you're listening and writing and shit. So that comes a little becomes a little more complicated, but yeah, I did you do anything today?
No, I had a work meeting. We're getting ready to ramp back up for May the 4th be with you. And
Mhm.
So, but commenting on that, I'm always impressed by gamers that can game at the same time, have 3,000 viewers or even more in some cases, and then they're still paying attention to all the chats, the donations, all this, and they're still in a first-person shooter killing something. So,
Yeah.
I I always the multitask thing. I have gotten better over the years, especially at my current position. I have to multitask like a son of a gun, and so I've gotten better. That was my biggest complaint from my bosses, but for the last 4 years. But I don't know if my brain is good at that. I still don't give myself enough credit. I think because I feel like I'm bad at multitasking. I'm ADD, dude. I'm squirrel. I'm
Yeah, is
out.
ADD even real though? I was tested and I was positive for ADD. I feel like everyone that went and did this test
I was
came out
negative.
positive. Oh,
No,
you
that's the
were?
thing. I was negative. You put the blocks together, you're telling them colors and numbers, and they go, nope, he doesn't have it. He was able to focus. And I'm thinking in my head, I go, that was a little bit tedious. That was a little bit difficult. And don't let me fool you in an hour session. I kind of do want
Hmm.
that Adderall.
Yeah, well, it was Ritalin back when I got tested, and they made me sit in this. Like part of the test was you sit in the room while they talk your mom's ear off, and they see if you get start moving around and shit. And I definitely was moving around, but the other test that they had you draw,
What
they
a
had you draw.
barbaric test.
I know. Let's make this kid, dude. First of all, I was a kid. It's like let's make this kid sit in a fucking room while we talk to his mom in a droning on sentence.
Yeah.
But the other test was you had to draw a face, and the guy's like, include every part of the face. I forgot the ears, and he goes, "Yup, that's a sign." So I feel like they're just looking for fucking excuses to slap the drugs in your mouth and charge up that pharmacy bill, folks.
Yeah, we were talking veterinarian bills yesterday, and my buddy's mom goes, $300, and I don't know what I got. She goes,
Yeah.
I don't know what I
Was it a
paid for.
checkup or something?
No, like they had diarrhea and stuff, and so they got taken in. But she just said, when you look at the bill, it's just hard to decipher what's going on. She goes, it feels like a racket. And I said, what's the amount you would pay to save your dog? Like I said, I don't have an animal, but if I did, I think the amount's $1,000. I think even after, so there's a bunch of ranges, right? What if your dog gets sick at
No.
4 years old? What if then you go, wait a minute, this thing's got another 15 years it could leave, or another
Right,
11
right.
years or so. But if it gets sick at about 10 or 11, I think $1,000 is the most. But I'm
This guy's a real
totally,
heartless boob. I'll tell you that,
yeah, I'm
folks.
way more the dude that took Old Yeller behind the garage than I am the kid that's crying about it.
Yeah.
I think that's instilled from childhood. My dad wasn't big into animals, and
Neither is my father.
it's funny. My sister just told me my dad's girlfriend had enough nerve now to bring, or enough gall, or whatever you want to say. Had the
Yeah.
enough charisma or
Not charisma.
confidence to ask him if she could bring her cat to live at the house now that they're
Yeah.
closer. And I guess he said yes. And my sister's laughing her butt off, saying, "I can't see Dad with this cat running around." She goes, "The litter box is in the basement bathroom and stuff." I go, "Well, that's the, but you
Yeah,
come
you
a
never
long way."
know, man. Well, first of all, women will get you to do some pretty wacky things, as we saw last night with you driving around at the age of 10. But I was like deathly allergic to cats. And you know how your body switches every like 6 or 7 years, you can become allergic to
Is
things. You
that what
could
it is?
it's about that. Yeah, your body has like
Because I
different
was
cycles
never
it goes
allergic
through.
to cats, but I am deathly allergic to them now. But I feel like I've gotten better in the last decade. So I went through this roller coaster of the same ride that you're talking about.
Yeah, I would wake up in the. I went and slept over at my one cousin's friend's house, and I didn't know the kid. He had like 7 cats. Dude, I woke up, I could barely breathe and shit. It was horrible. But my ex girlfriend had a cat, and I went in thinking, yeah, I'm a dog guy, if anything. And these cats kind of suck, but this cat was pretty cool. It would come and like lay next to me, and it almost would like sense when I was down. And by God, I was down a lot. But
I don't
yeah,
know
man,
what it
I've
is. I'm a
created a
cat
good
guy,
bond
dude.
with the cat. You
Dogs are
are, or you
so
aren't.
smart. Yeah. But barking dogs annoys the dog shit out of me. And I had this petrified feeling that the dog I pick out's going to be the barker. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
but cats, they're so sly. They're so consistent. Dogs can be too, but when you look at a small cat to a tiger, the movements, everything,
Mhm.
it's Ferrari versus Ford. And the Fords are great dogs. They're
They're
awesome,
for
right?
getting around.
But
Yeah.
if you want this smooth, sly, I'm not gonna bark. I'm not gonna even let you barely know I'm here, but I'm gonna fuck something up if I need to, kind of thing. And shout out to YouTube. We're trying to keep the swearing to a minimum, so that's gonna be the
So
one
here's a
F
couple of
bomb.
bombs.
We're allowed to drive. We're allowed one F bomb an episode, and one you can say the S word once. I won't ruin it on that take there, but
Did you have any pets when you were growing up?
my sister had one cat she got for her birthday. I was probably 10, 9. Uh, Stanley, uh, Stanley Bruce. Well, he
Wow.
came from the pound. His name was Bruce Stanley. But my mom knew me so well that I was going to call it BS that she literally changed the name to Stanley Bruce. So I didn't have that capability to get his initials BS.
Yeah, maybe it's good that you aren't breeding. This kid was a fucking nightmare as a child, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even fathom this shit. I thought I was bad. Fuck. Oops, there
He
goes my
said
F
last
bomb.
night, he goes, dude, he goes, that story brings back, he goes, do you ever, yeah, that's so funny you bring that up. He goes, do you ever really just thank your parents? He goes, holy smokes, man, you really put them through the ringer. And
Yeah.
he goes, your dad was pretty soft though on you. And I said, my dad's said that to this day, that sometimes he regrets a little bit how soft he was. And we've told some more stories. I'll ramble off in the future episodes that had Iggy thinking and paying respect to my parents, which love them both, big, big, big. And yeah, if I do have a kid,
It's
it's
gonna be a
gonna be a hard
wild
time.
Oscar.
Yeah,
Did
oh,
your
yeah.
dad was your dad like did he have some kind of transformation? Was he kind of crazy as a kid? Does he can he cope with the way you felt in that regard or
So I guess his dad was pretty strict, and he was pretty fine tuned, man. He was a professional organist by 12 or 13
what?
years old. So he had taken piano so serious from like 5, 6 years old to into past his teens and adulthood that literally was his focus. I mean, this dude was traveling, whether it was musicians, churches, this stuff. He was just that was his deal. So no, we are severely different. Now my mother, I think that most of those traits come from that side because my mom was a little wild turkey and, 17. My grandpa, who I never met, was pretty strict dude and old school Italian, and she got her butt whooped more. She was the youngest. She really got put in place a lot. But um, I remember she tells me a story where she got kicked out of the house because she was 17. She came home with a Ford Mustang. She had been working and she saved her money and she wanted a Ford Mustang. And her dad, one, worked for Chrysler, two, didn't want a 17-year-old daughter having a sports car. So she comes home with the Mustang. That's it. You had a motorcycle, you had a Camaro. Now I tell you none of these sports stuff, and you come home with a Mustang, get out of here. So she got a little whooping and then got kicked out. So, but she had it a lot rougher, but she also has this acting, comedic, like wild side. And so we were talking before the show about opposites, and really, I think in relationships, opposites can be superb. And I think my parents, although divorced, excellent friends to this day, still love each other very, very much, and convey that, and are severe opposites.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was just saying that because like my dad, he did a bunch of stuff when he was a kid, so he can kind of decipher which is just a normal teenage thing, whereas what's a psychopath move like making napalm in your basement like my one friend used to do. So the stuff that he saw me getting involved with, I think he kind of brushed it off as normal high school antics, if you will. Plus, we were talking about how the lying and stuff really would get to me, and some kids that doesn't matter to them. They don't have like a conscience. It's weird.
I had so much free space, my man. It was so awesome. My parents, I to this day, I get on Ashley's case if she's riding her kids a little too close. And I don't dare say anything to my sister, but I pay attention from afar, and her kids are real young, so it's a little too young to know that. But my parents gave me so much free space. It helped make me a salesman. It helped make me street smart beyond belief, and ahead of time, I guess. Maybe everybody caught up now, right? Maybe everybody's on a level playing field. But I remember when I was eight, I'm sorry, not in eighth grade, when I was 8, my mom got mad at me, kicks me out of the house. She says, "You got to go find something to do. Go outside, find something." I went outside. I got 3 of the neighbor girls together, 2 of the neighbor guys, and I started a car wash out of the driveway. 8 years old. I put the girls in one-piece swimsuits out on Mack Avenue, holding signs that said car wash.
This guy's a regular Huckleberry Finn, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, made $2,000 the first month with me and my friends. We went bonkers, dude. But it got shut down shortly thereafter because the water bill came and they wanted reimbursement. And I hadn't. I said no deal was ever worked out. I said, "Mom told me to get out of the house and go do something, and this is what I did." Nobody ever said anything about the water bill or nothing, so I never got that. But my parents were so cool. They gave me all the space in the world. They would send me out and just tell me go do whatever I want to do. And I think it has its ramifications because there's going to be those days where you get a call from the cops because unfortunately I was too stupid or learned the hard way. But then you're going to have the case where I feel like I'm more successful to this day because of that. And I'm more on my toes and more responsible or can see, the dupe right in front of me.
It's all about street smarts, and you've developed them, and some kids just don't have that. Like I have a lot of fears being a father and stuff. I'm working through those right now. But you call me Dr. Anxiety. I don't know what the fuck would happen with me and my kids because I would be so. I guess once you have one, or once you have two, it kind of gets easier because you know that they're not gonna be hurting themselves to the level that you think they are. But I don't know, man. I'd be all over these kids, watching them every second.
I feel like I still, this day and age, it has changed a lot, but what you're explaining is why you'd make a phenomenal parent, because that in business, real life, and parenthood, knowing you don't know it all, very conscious and scared of your surroundings, but willing to learn and build off of that is what makes you great at life. And that's a personal thing, and that's a thing on the other side. But that's why
that's a good lesson for all of life, really.
Correct. And you would make a very good parent because of that mentality you're already going in with. People that are, I don't care, or the other spectrum, I'm great at this. I'd be I'm over the top good at this or something, would be the more type that would scare me. But someone that's relative, that this is a challenge, I know you'd kick its ass.
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, I was asking you what your first pet was. You said a cat. When I was in fourth grade, my teacher had these macaws, and she would bring them to class like once every month. Macaws are a pretty they're an expensive exotic bird. You ever heard of them? Let me see if
Hmm?
I can find some.
No.
They're like parrots to a degree.
Do they make a noise that goes macaw,
Macaw.
macaw?
So
They
so my
talking?
teacher would, yeah, they talk like my teacher would bring these birds in once a month, and she was a really cool teacher. She was super like hippie. She made you we had to memorize a bunch of poems and stuff. She was the teacher that was heavily into the arts, poetry and drawing and all that kind of stuff. And this is elementary school, so the teacher's got to teach you pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to different classes for particular stuff. You're going to one class for all the same shit. And so she would bring her birds in the school. Here, let me share this for you guys. These things were fucking like super smart. She would talk to them, they would talk back, and
Macaw.
it was badass. Like I remember one teacher came in and they like were talking about something, and the teacher's like, "Yeah, they can memorize words, but they really don't know what it means." And this lady flipped the fuck out. Her name was Miss Apicarian. She flipped out. She's like, they know exactly what's going on. They know, like, because if they touch like a frying pan and it's hot, they say hot and all this stuff. So she had some kind of connection with these birds, but it was pretty funny because
I don't buy that.
what, you think they're just memorizing the stuff?
Well, my mom's friend has one. They're not stupid by any means. They're smart as heck. But
Right. Heck, come on, bro. This isn't Sesame Street. Get that
it's
word
not
out.
it's not going to touch a stove and say it's hot. But my mom's friends, not to
No, it
cut you
did
off,
do
but
it. But the
my
question
mom's
is,
friends will
did
tell
it?
you when the UPS guy's there and stuff, and it'll
Yeah,
do
no,
the
this
back.
thing did it, bro. It said hot, but does it know? The guy's argument was it just learned that from
Correct.
you. It doesn't really know what hot and cold means, which I
The
get
teacher
it.
was obviously trying to teach it that I'm hot, or I watched a
Right.
lot of Paris Hilton.
This is way before her time, folks. Anyways, the moral of the lesson was every kid in this fourth grade class, and I'm sure multiple grades above and below me, we all went out and we got birds. We
You had a
love these things.
bird?
I had two of them, but I didn't get a macaw because these things were a couple of grand a pop. We went and I got myself a couple of parakeets. First one was named Midnight. Yeah, it wasn't the most
Wow, I don't
satisfying.
I don't see you as a bird person. I certainly don't see your mother as a bird woman allowing it.
We talked her into it again. This class really it was a good day for old Lou's pet shop at the end of the street, but after a couple of years when the kids got sick of the birds, it just didn't really pan out for the creatures too much.
My
Because I
best
got sick of my birds at one point. I feel like I just stopped taking care of them that well. They went from being in the corner of the living room to then into my bedroom to then down the basement, and no one ever heard from them again.
I was asked to take care when I was real young. Like they would go on a camping trip. My best friend that lived across the street, and they had a bunch of animals, and he had like 4 or 5 birds, including a couple parakeets.
Yeah.
Nothing real big or too expensive or extensive, but they'd asked me. I wasn't the like I said. I didn't have a pet by that time, and I was known as the kid that really didn't. I wasn't hurting pets at all. I didn't like that, but I, I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't have that same. I don't know. I didn't have a sympathy, or I wasn't all about pets.
Well, we were talking about when you're going through puberty, tons of kids, they show these acts of aggression towards like shooting birds with BB guns or squirrels or snakes or whatever. I fell right into that camp again. Now I look back and I feel horrible about it. But when I go on these camping trips, like I told the one story of the canoe adventure, it's a bunch of guys. It's a bunch of testosterone. We're gonna do a bunch of guy shit. We're going through puberty. Something's gonna fucking die.
I was the dude running and putting the bottle rocket out and like scolding you. Like I just didn't that I didn't for some reason like I don't have a sympathy for pets, but I don't want to like cause harm to them either. But
Right. Well, this was
my
like a couple year period. I've now I look back and I feel absolutely awful. And go ahead.
Well, my buddy asked me to take care of these pets. This is the first and last time this obligation happened for me. He goes, the birds and the fish and the cats. And I got it. You guys go camping. I got it. They gave me a key to the house and that. So, one, I got in trouble. I got caught reading the Calvin and Hobbes. I wasn't there taking care of the pets. The big brother shows up. I'm there reading Calvin and Hobbes. And
Hey.
two, when they come back, I get a call the following day. Well, we found one of the fish dead. Oh, that's crazy. I fed him every day. I don't understand. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. No big deal. Whatever. The next day, my mom gets another call. No, we found one of the parakeets dead too. We finally found it behind the speaker. I said, "What are you talking about? I fed these things. I did everything." They go,
How
"Well,
old were you?
8, something like
Yeah, that's
that."
first of all, who's hiring an 8-year-old to go take care of animals? Are you even allowed in a house by yourself as an 8-year-old?
Telling you, dude, I had free roam, bro. By then, I had opened this car wash and everything. I was the kid on the block that was way ahead of the curve.
This kid's got fucking 10-year-olds with fucking bikinis on and shit. Half of them are topless. They're drying cars
One
left and right.
pieces, my friend. One pieces. No
Yeah.
one wants to see an 8-year-old in a fucking in a 2-piece. That's our
I
second
didn't say
F
I
bomb
want to
of the
see him.
night,
I'm just saying
folks.
this kid was an entrepreneur. He
Yeah.
was trying to he was shelling out these 8-year-olds to the 7-year-old boys.
Well, we actually moved the car wash next door to Pat's. You've heard of Pat in previous stories from Hilton Head and such. We moved the
Yeah.
car wash to his house. Again, no deal signed with his parents. So it lasted for another month, 2 months total. They got their bill. They sent me the bill. We're not paying that. All right, car wash is closed again. So we got 2 months out of that thing. And I remember I bought a bunch of candles and camping stuff, and we were building these forts that were out of control. That's what I used the profits for. And I think I bought a new bike.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I had a pretty sweet fort in my backyard too. But not getting away from the younger era when you were 10 doing the car washes with the girls and the guys and stuff. But didn't you, after you were in your late 20s or mid 20s, didn't you come up with some kind of idea where it's like a bikini boat washing service?
Yeah, so when I was 18, I opened up dockside boat cleaning, and then when I was maybe 20, we started transitioning to bikini boat washing. And my buddy's dad called me actually from overseas, from Russia, and he said, I got an opportunity to bring these 2 Russians to America, but they got to have a green card, they got to have a job, a place to live.
Hmm.
I want to be business partners with you. I'll get you into the Grosse Pointe Yacht Club and get you down with the board. You can talk to the board there, and then we can see if this thing's going to fly. But if you can provide them the job, I'll pay for their living, and we'll be partners on this. I said, yeah, dude, I respected this guy. He was a lot older, and he had a business that was huge. I helped build Comerica Park, Ford Field, huge.
Booming.
So, we're good. We girls come and get to America. I meet them. I actually took your cousin Rob. We're going to the 2005 home run all-star home run derby at Comerica Park. And I pick up your cousin. I go, you got to meet these girls on the way down to Comerica Park. So we go by the yacht club, and sure enough, Rob's like, oh my goodness, dude. But
Was he
they bring me
single at
this
the time?
what yeah, but I mean, no, man, even if he was married, you could tell these were the accent, the body, the whole, I mean, it's just Russian hotness, dude. So
Yeah, yeah.
so they come back from the dock. This is one day I sent them out on the dock with a piece of paper to ask people if they want to pay 150 per girl to wash the boat in their bikini per hour. So it could get pricey quick. And
Sounds like a fucking lap dance to some degree.
well, I paid enough for my insurance to wash a boat and, God forbid, if a damage a boat, and to serve liquor that was not purchased by Dockside. So I couldn't make profit on liquor, but I could, if someone supplied the liquor, I could have waitresses serve it. So if you wanted to have a party where they would be rubbing the boat sensually and serving beer to your guests and that, this is good.
Maybe a
So
boob pops out. Maybe a boob.
before they even got on the docks, I sat down with the board of the yacht club, and I'm 20 or so, and I'm thinking in my head, there's no way this idea is gonna fly at this big time conservative yacht club. And the president of the yacht club stands up after I tell him that my idea is bikini to wash. We're gonna have girls, hot girls in bikinis, walking up and down the docks, and they'll wash your boat for 150 per girl per hour.
And this guy stood up rock hard, didn't he?
This guy stands up ecstatic. He goes, yes, we've been waiting for something like this. And I'm literally like, what? Like, I literally go, wow, I didn't think you guys were going to even go for this. He goes, are you kidding me? This is right up our alley.
He goes, look at this dick. Ding, ding. This thing's hard as a rock, baby.
Yeah, he's tinging a diamond off the tip of it.
He goes, I've been walking up and down these docks not seeing titties in my face, and I always ask myself, why? Why is there not titties in my face?
I got the boat.
I got the boat. Why did I buy this boat? My wife left me years ago.
So there's about, I'd say, total 6 board members or so sitting around me at this table, me and my business partner. And this guy goes, we have any nays? He goes, the eyes have it. He goes, get out there and start selling me. He goes, there's one contingency. I said, what's that? He goes, I'm the first boat you clean and I want it for 6 hours. I go,
yes.
Yo, done. I go, holy.
First and last boat every day. I'll see you in the morning.
So we walk out of there. My business partner, Matt, and I are high-fiving. I can't believe this is going to work. What the world? Like, we thought this would be some little, like, total fluke service. You know, maybe 2 people would go for it a month. So I said, we got the go-ahead and the blessing, and these guys are gun-ho. And we send these 2 girls out on the dock.
No pun intended.
They come back day 1 when Rob and I go to meet. They give me this sheet. It's full on, like, 3 pages of lined paper. Like 80
sex sells, man. We knew that.
80 customers or something. I literally I go, how am I going to call these people? I said, what in the world you girls been up to? So I said, well, we got enough to chew on here.
Pick up and chew.
I'm going to go to the home run derby. You girls have a good night. Give me a week. I'm going to call these customers and line up your schedule. I'll tell you when you're going to work. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. I said, this is thousands of dollars. I said, this is unbelievable. So I get down. Now I start to call a couple customers, line up a couple schedules. The girls call me as like a group, but they're both on one cell phone. They call me and they go, well, can we meet? I said, yeah. And we meet in the village. Shout out to the new Grosse Pointe Rap coming soon.
Yeah.
You know,
take your prom date out for a high price steak, folks.
In their gorgeous accents, they said, we don't need you. We learned that we went out on the dock. We're the commodity. We're going to start our own company. I said, guys, we haven't even gone out on the dock. What are you talking about? Now, I had a couple other girls I lined up to do this as well, right? Well, we end up getting into a disagreement over this, that they're going to do this. So I call my other business partner there that was in Russia and started this whole procedure. And I said, listen, they're talking about leaving the company. He goes, they're not doing that. What are you talking about? They can't start their own company. They got to have a green card. That's the whole point of this. He goes, put them on the phone. Put him on the phone. He goes, you're not doing this. Now, keep in mind, this guy ends up marrying one of them, okay? So they're not married yet. They're not a couple yet, but I think they had been hooking up. But he gets on the phone. You guys aren't doing this. You're going to work for James. No, we're not. So they end up, you're done. I said, well, I'm done with this. I said, what do I need them for? I said, I already proved the concept works. Now I'm just going to go get 2 more American girls. So I went to the Coliseum. I did my sweet talk in there. And I got a couple girls that wanted some Saturday gigs and not just to be working at the club. I picked them up. Russians are done, never washed a boat. They get me 80 customers. I got to tell these customers, listen, you're not guaranteed the girls you met on the dock. You might have a little bit different specimen, but trust me, they'll be dockside qualified. And we had these great bikinis made that said dock inside on the chest, and on the ass it said dockside. Great blue and white, branding so well. And so send one girls out. They go to the one party. They serve some beer. They wash the boat. I think it was 3 hours paid for 2 girls.
And this is the Grosse Pointe Yacht Club, correct?
Yeah, this was at the yacht club. And it actually wasn't the president's boat, though. We didn't actually do that one first. We did some Joe Schmo's party. So we come back, and the one girl's talking to me about, well, I don't like that this one girl got $1,500. And I said, got $1,500? I said, what are you talking about? I go, I told you, I split it with you girls. You girls make $75 an hour. And she said, no, this other girl went in the back and was fucking a couple of the guys and got $1,500. I go,
of course.
$1,500? I go, you guys can't be doing anything where you're touching the customers. And she said, well, I'm going to start touching her. We're getting $1,500. I go, All right. I go, well, here we go again. And
This
she
guy's
goes,
a pimp all of a sudden. He went from fucking boat wash dude to a pimp overnight.
I was always thinking it, baby. So
You show up the next day with a hat and a cane and shit. You go, all right, fuck it, I'm getting into this now. He's walking down the fucking docks, dude, strutting.
So she goes, oh, and by the way, I'm pregnant. I said, well, what the hell is going on around here? I go, the first two girls I could have made a killing with, they're back in Russia. Now we got you two. You got one pregnant, the other one's going all the way with guys for a second helping of cash. I said,
Yeah.
you two are done.
Why wouldn't they, man? They're used to the clubs. Now they're
Um,
out on the water, baby. Nice blue sky, nice boat.
Hey, they had good street smarts. What did I expect from a couple girls from the Coliseum? Amazing street smarts and putting my company at liability's risk. So
Here it is, folks.
it literally was I couldn't
A girl
handle.
blew a guy right here.
I
There was,
could
a girl blew like 4 dudes right here.
I couldn't handle the stress of this. This is 8 months to a year in the making. I got my first couple weeks where these girls are off the chain, different excuses as to why it's becoming a total headache. And if memory serves me correctly, I believe I tried two more girls, one of which also got pregnant, and I bailed. I may have just bailed though after those two because I remember I told my business partner, I said, dude, and he wanted the financial profits from this, but he totally knew this was my baby and was not going to be running this. We were already doing a car wash or getting involved there. That was his baby, and that's what his day to day was. He had no intentions of being like, I'm going to be on the docks with the bikini girls. He was just getting married and stuff. So it was
Yeah,
my
no, I remember that guy. I remember when this was all going down because I think I just graduated. I was maybe I was still in high school or not, but I think I was coming right out of high school because didn't I work for you for a little bit? And you were talking
oh yeah
about this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I can look in the mirror on it, I should have toned it down. I should have been on the docks with the girls doing the talking. I should have left the docks after there was 10 customers because taking on 80 or even thinking it was way too much pressure.
Did they give good like washes or did they just was it all about
I
just
gave them all real compounds and stuff. I ran them all through. They actually had to work for dockside boat cleaning for 2 weeks full time before I
Mm-hmm.
allowed them to go to a cleaning on the bikini front. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember the two boats we did, I had to have. I'm trying to remember who I had. I paid someone to go to be security for them, and
Knock
that's
a
actually
couple
how
barnacles off that bad boy, if you know what I mean.
that's how the story started because the guy that went for security the second time ended up telling me, "Hey, dude, these girls are doing something extracurricular," and that's when that all came up because I kind of spurred it and I asked them, hey, what's going on? We got a good deal here, right? 75 an hour I pay you girls, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when the story of well, wait a minute, hold on, she's getting 1,500 extra. I would go, what the hell are you talking about? So that story came out, but
A great
fun
one, man.
times,
This
yeah,
is
dude.
entrepreneur at his best.
Dude, that's the street smarts, bro. And to be honest, that's probably one of the endeavors I had that didn't work out, but the potential was off the
Yeah.
chain.
Yeah, well, that's you know, it's not like you're scraping by or anything. You've made a good life for yourself, but I'm surprised one of your ideas hasn't exploded and became a $1 million idea. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to have some kind of luck involved. You got to have the skill implemented, and then when the luck comes, you got to have the skill to back your shit up. Kind of like this comedy thing. If something ever popped off, we'll have the skills in our back pocket, but you still have to have some kind of level of luck. You know?
I wouldn't trade owning that business for 10 years in for anything, but it definitely, the reason I didn't do it anymore is because I just, excuse me, the direction the company had gone. I didn't want to cut lawns until I was 50 years old.
Yeah.
I never set that company up to be a landscape company. It just drifted into this. And so I always, that entrepreneurial bug, because you are one, you don't lose. You
No.
just look for your next endeavor. Fat Earth Comedy, I really want to put my all in on this because I feel like comedy is just like we've always talked about. It's just something that has always been in the foreground of our life.
Well, no matter how we fight it, again, like I've been going through some, some life thoughts and making different changes and you got to keep making yourself better every single day or there's no point to your life. You might as well give up, if you're not improving. But I, uh, I want to do this. I want to do that. We have a brother channel, Mike and Maurice, and we do more of serious content. We talk about aliens or sleeping or near death experiences and that kind of stuff. But I was like, I want to make like a documentary with this. I want to help people, but at the same time, I think comedy does help people. We've been talking where we've been getting a little graphic and we're a little receptive of that and we know what's going on and we're gonna try and steer the ship more towards some more, I wouldn't say PC topics, but we've pushed to the fringe and we wanted to see what happened and it's just hard in today's environment, but we're gonna keep moving forward with this thing and we're gonna try and make some stuff that's actually able to be viewed by maybe a whole family. Give us a
Well,
nice warm feeling inside, ladies and gentlemen.
no one takes us up on the openness and how receptive we are to input. So
Hmm.
totally chime in, anybody. Like we really need a direction on where we want to take this, and that's not because
We're begging you.
we're
Leave a
not out of
fucking
ideas.
comment.
We're not dried up. I think some people's ideas, like our own. Oh, I get a lot of texts on script ideas and stories in this. The problem is, it's so easy to. It's not so easy, but the easier part is coming up with that end.
Yeah, right.
Implementing it
Yeah.
legally is the
Uh-huh.
other part, and unfortunately, some of these great ideas work in Samsonelli, Dogan, and Murphy series off of Jefferson, and this excellent idea is phenomenal. But to actually implement it at our payroll
Right.
is hard. The city of Detroit is infamous for just
Slap.
making making stuff so difficult to.
Yeah, you got to get your permits. I mean, that's why it's kind of cool to have such a small run and gun production. I was showing you that mic I bought the other day. We could get a mic, we could get a sound guy, a camera guy, a couple of actors, use natural lighting from the sky, and we're off and running. But at the same time, you were saying, people write stuff and it gets really grandiose real quick. But at the same time, when we're writing, I don't want to poo-poo or shut your brain down. I'd rather you say stuff and let it be as big as you dream and then try and kind of figure out how to make it happen. And sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. But the reality is we just got to look at the time because you have a 40-hour a week job. Colleen has a 40-hour a week job. My job, the hours fluctuate. I can always try and find time for things, and then you got your personal lives and things like that. So just being able to really set aside and being honest with yourself because there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be points where you're really gung-ho, like right now we're all pumped up. Then there's going to be a lull where we're going to be getting beat down and things aren't going to be going as smooth as they should or they shouldn't. But if you can push through those times, I mean, this is a metaphor for life in general. Relationships or jobs or whatever you pursue in life, there's going to be these ups and downs. And when you're really where make yourself a man or a woman or where your true essence comes out is when you're at that low point and you figure out a way to keep going. Again, March 16th, ladies and gentlemen, will be 2-year anniversary for Fat Earth.
Rocky,
Yeah.
it's not how hard you hit. It's how you get up after getting hit.
Yeah. The old man. He was a wise old bird, but also Jim's birthday's on your birthday's March 12th, correct?
uh, May.
May 12th.
Your March 15th.
Yep. Yeah, so we got Big Jimmy's birthday coming up. We're gonna have ourselves a good March or a good May. I keep saying March
Let's
because
do a couple
March and April
stories.
disappeared from me.
I got a couple good stories because my buddy Russ, that you've referenced before,
Rooster.
it was his dad who I was business partners with on the Bikini Boat Washing.
Oh
But
wow.
take this tenfold. I got some great birthday stories with Russ, Iggy, me. Our birthdays are all May 12th, 15th, 16th. And back in high school, Russ's dad had a couple different Hummer limos his company had bought, a black one and a white one.
Are you sure this
And
guy wasn't a pimp?
we got two occasions. We got free realm
Free
with
reign
the
on him.
free reign with these Hummer limos. One time we took him to MSU. One time we took him to maybe just around town. Yeah, we just went downtown to the bar with them one night.
Yeah, I remember the one. I don't know how old you were, but You guys had a camper. We were over at Rooster's house. I don't know if you called him Rooster. I called my friend Russ Rooster. But this was the first time that this is the first time Moe Fungus was the band leader. You remember this shit?
Oh yeah. So we had the 65-inch television behind the band blasting hardcore porn.
Yeah, yeah. Get
We
the
had the
whole story
band.
out.
We had the band Leg Ligament Eye fresh.
No, it wasn't like Ligament Eye. It was just me. It was me. Danny was playing bass. I don't even know if Terrell was there or not. I think Rob was there. And then I think Higgins was on drums. So it was like an amalgamation of Hogan Says and Leg Ligament Eye.
And you guys jammed and I freestyled.
Yeah, yeah. I remember jamming my ass off. I'm playing, like, the porn was behind us, so we couldn't even see it. I'm jamming and stuff. We were aware of it, but we weren't, like, watching it. And we're jamming and jamming. Then all of a sudden I see Jim's mom walk downstairs, maybe with your sister. And it was like a record scratch. I stopped. I looked behind me. It's like, and there's like the dirtiest porn you've ever seen. Some girl's asshole's about to pucker up, and this kid's mom walks down for the fucking main event.
Yeah, that was great. And the following morning, so the RV Russ borrowed was put in the driveway for my little bedroom. That was my bedroom because
the bang and rang.
Russ walks right in as I'm banging my girlfriend, and I go, "Don't come in," and he comes blasted in, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, it looks like a walrus attacking a shrimp."
Wasn't this your girlfriend at the time too?
Okay, don't do that. Yes.
This girl that Jimmy was dating at the time resembled her. My memory might be skewed because I was quite the alcoholic back then.
No, very. I can see that very much so.
Yeah, this is right after Jimmy.
You're pulling Facebook up or something.
No. I wouldn't do that to you. But Jimmy was right off. He was straight off the book, The Game, and his game was never better. Pulling Brie Olson types off the bowling room floor. Oh. No, that was a good time. I remember they go, if you hear that cabin a rocking, Jimmy's fucking knocking, man. And we came out and this thing was quaking off its wheels, dude.
Looks like a walrus attacking a shrimp.
Yeah. Well, it looked like some kind of battle was ensuing inside this thing. Like I said, it was quaking off its wheels, man. And we go, all right, we're leaving now. And we walked home because we used to live on Opal Street. We lived in Detroit, and this party was right next to Guest Choir. So, I don't know. We just walked home at like 6 a.m. We get back to our place, and some girl threw a brick through our other roommate's car windshield. They were sitting on the porch waiting for the police to come. I go, all right, I'm going to bed. I've had enough of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the icing on the cake. Yeah, I'm not dealing with this right now, fool.
I remember though there was one point we were just because like I was never been the band leader. I always had like a singer, or when we were in Hogan Says, Chris was the main guy. The guy Chris from our episode of Concert Stories. So I was the band leader. I pretty much was just jamming in real basic keys. We were getting the raps flowing, but I remember we tapped into something, man. We really opened up our minds and tapped into some kind of frequency, and we were just letting the fucking music flow right through us. I don't know if it was the porn, the beer, the combination of the two, but there was some kind of magical jams going on. And I remember Chris's brother, I think I played the bass in a song, and Danny, my roommate's like, I never knew you could play the bass like that. I go, I don't even know what I was doing, bro. I was just letting the electricity flow right through my hands.
I think less pressure, you could
yes.
Open up a little more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was a good story. How old were you?
24?
No.
25?
Yeah, maybe because you're 38?
37.
Yeah, but you will be 38. So yeah. I would have been. Yeah, I was living at Opal when I was around 22, 23, like you were saying. My mom threw me out.
So I was probably 28 or so. 26, 27.
You ever talk to the old rooster ever?
Russ?
Yeah. Send him some of these videos, man. See if we get a rise out of him. He might get all rabied out, man. He might not like to talk.
A year ago for our birthday, we went to those fast go-karts, cart to cart.
Oh yeah.
Iggy. Ashley, me. I'll tell you what, though, I'm a big boy, dude. I had 2 beers. I'd come after work, and you put me in those hot race suits and a helmet and put me behind a little gas engine where I'm sucking fumes for 10 laps. I literally got out of this little go-kart. I go, dude, I give props to NASCAR. How are they doing this for 400 laps? Like I'm too fat and out of shape, bro. This thing, I was like sweating profusely. I was after 3 beers, I almost had the spins and stuff because I was like
Holy
so
shit.
dehydrated.
Looked like Donkey Kong in Mario Kart. Guys just spilling out of the
I
fucking
looked
go-kart.
like Donkey Lips and Salute Your Shorts.
guys just spilling out the sides. That's what happened to me one time. I was in between cars and I borrowed my uncle's Neon. And I remember my cousin Michael borrowed the Neon, dude. I saw this kid coming down the street. It looked like Donkey Kong in one of those go-karts. It was fucking hilarious, dude. Because those cars are so small. Do they even make those Neons anymore?
No, but you can get the Chevy similar
Volt?
the Aveo.
Oh, okay.
We
Yeah,
have
those guys.
these Flint water monsters that come in, get popping out of Aveos. These monster 6'7" dudes. It looks like a clown car. It's great.
Yeah, oh, that's hilarious. Because I'm like 5'8" or 5'9". Me getting out of this car, it was like almost comical. But I remember you take the car on the freeway, you hit 80 miles an hour, it's like this thing starts shaking, fucking sack, dude. He goes, this thing gonna stay together? But you think the bolts and shit are popping out the sides. The old Neon. That car was quite fun. But yeah, no, that vision of him coming down the road, he's got his arm out the window. It reminded me of the Simpsons episode where this incredibly tall man gets out of this little tiny, it's like a beetle almost.
I could see John Candy pulling this role off well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris, Kevin Moe Fungus's old bandmate there. He's got his fish guitar lessons on YouTube, and this channel is sick. I mean, Kevin and I are a little special to it because we love fish, and so it hits home. But anybody that wants to just see the cool production quality of the notes live while he plays a difficult fish tune, which they pretty much all are, is really sweet the way he's been able to do it. And yeah, fish guitar lessons on YouTube, guys. Check that out. Seriously, it is it's climbing, it's awesome, and we're not just friends, we're literally fans of it. So
well, he did the music for Dogan and Murphy, the theme song for Dogan and Murphy. He wrote that.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, he's close to our production arts, and he just came out with one today, Bathtub Gin. I listened to this morning. It was sweet.
Well, that's pretty cool that a guy that doesn't even play the guitar can tune in and get something out of it. But yeah, you know, our channel, Fat Earth Comedy, then my other podcast, the more serious one, Mike and Maurice's Mind Escape, and then Fish Guitar. We all kind of started together, and they're getting more fans and stuff. I think they have more of a built-in audience, though. There's more people definitely out there searching to figure out how to play fish songs than people. Like, we have to provide comedy. It's like, it's such a weird, there's no way to really explain what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're providing a service or something. Even with the Mike and Maurice Mind Escape, we're talking about esoteric things. People want to hear about DMT or near-death experiences, or, you know, they're interested on sleep, or we have doctors on and things like that. So we're providing information, but the comedy, we're providing laughs. How do you put a tag on that? That's the difficult thing about it all.
Okay, well, the thing is this also. I mean, all 3 channels are awesome, and all 3 channels dive into creative nooks that I'm interested in, and I think a lot of individuals are interested in. The hill to climb on our 3rd channel with Fat Earth Comedy, compared to those 2, is that we're also not just comedy, but mature comedy. And it is something that I have friends that can't watch at work, or I have, I mean, there's episodes we have where I'm surprised I can even post it, and I have a different job other than this full time. So
you're lucky that you don't get reprimanded for that stuff. I would be way more apprehensive. I run a production company, and I have no ties to it, just because, again, I'm a really good guy. I'm a nice cat. Some of the shit that we do is more of a character base. You know, it's not really us, like our rap guys. That isn't us on the streets. Those guys are graphic individuals. That's the whole point of it. Is they're these graphic rap guys who think that they can say anything they want. You know, but at the same time, I'm not going to be showing people that I'm trying to get a wedding gig from. That's just not going to happen.
So I think, given that where the 3 channels are is very close and awesome material, more importantly, I don't care about the viewership. You know, sometimes I get a confidence boost when I look down and say, okay, 3.7 million other people thought I was cool, but I like to be on the cutting edge too. And I think there is something to jumping the shark. And I always fear that, you know, would we, and you know, so I would for the right price, just so it's out there. You big time production managers.
Well, you have to be popular first before you can jump the shark. You have to be in the water at the same time. And then
I want to get my union license at some point. I think you should too.
We're getting a taste of what people like. Again, we've only been doing this for 2 years. I've had a lot of life-changing events that happened in those 2 years, so it made it seem almost longer. But also, these productions make time stretch out. It's weird. It's like when you're working on them, the time goes fast. But then when you think back, you go, "Wow, we did this, 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 and this." Like Roseville is only a year old. That's fucking crazy to me.
Well, hang on to your butts, folks, because we got 3 in the chamber right now, and 2 dabs coming out. But first, it sounds like we got dad and son advice,
cherished memory.
We got that coming out. So
throwback to an
tuned.
SNL style. Yeah.
We need criticism. We need positivity. We need everything in between. Never be afraid to chat. And I don't shy away from the negative. In fact, it's almost, sorry to say, better publicity. So
you got to have negative if you're going to have positive. That's just the way the world works.
One of our podcasts the other night, one of the comedy casts, it had a thumbs down before it ever had any thumbs up. So I got a little snicker out of that. So
and then a thumbs down before it even started, bro. That's what people on Reddit like to do. Shout out to Reddit, the place where the smart people come to congregate.
Where there's literally, it's called Reddit, and there's not a damn thing to read. It's all memes or short videos or Fat Earth comedy or literally just Moe Fungus getting banned from it's another update that Moe Fungus has been banned from yet another site.
Well, I've actually helped my buddy Chris's fish page a lot by just posting, because he's done with it. He got a couple of bad reviews, and this is the thing. If you're going to be on any of these platforms, either you read the shit and you forget about it. You can't let this stuff get to you, because I don't care if you're Howard Stern, if you're the most successful broadcaster, people are going to destroy you. Some people are going to hate you. That's just the nature of the beast. But my buddy Chris won't even go on there anymore because he's like, dude, that's a rough go. I go, you know what? But it's going to help your page overall. So why not use it? It's a free resource. So I started doing it for him, and I told him I was doing it for him today, and he's like, oh, good luck, bro. I go, good luck. I've been banned from 30 fucking subreddits over the past 2 weeks, bro. Fat Earth is, I get more karma points from posting his fish stuff than I do with our comedy shit.
Moe Fungus is the equivalent of your friend that calls you and says they can't figure out how the unemployment agency works, and that I'm doing something wrong. He goes, yeah, well, every time he tries to post something, dude, he gets banned. It's just he's not hitting the right. It happened to me twice. I wasn't hitting the right sublinks or something, but then I got
participating enough. You have
like
to
a normal
participate a little
human.
bit.
I learned, and you know, Kevin burns himself on the stove multiple times a day. He just can't comprehend things hot again. He ain't like a parrot.
Right. Well, this is the thing with the Reddit. You got to tickle them a little bit, then you get a smooch. You get a little more tickling, then you give them a smooch. If you try and smooch, you get banned the fuck up. Every time I log into there, I look at my little mailbox, and there's always a couple of things in there. I'm like, oh, this might be a good message or this or that. It's you've been banned, and you've been banned. And on that note, folks, this has been episode 30. We were going to get Friday Night Fright, but we got way off topic.
And you've been banned.
And you've been banned. for goodness sake. But yeah, you got anything else to say, Jimmy? It's May the 1st. We're all praying that the world heals. You know, we try not to make fun of the stuff that's going on out there. We really don't bring it up that much at all, but it's crazy times, man. I don't even know what to think. I pray for everybody out there. I send the good vibes for the people that are sick. I hope you guys heal up good, and I don't know what else to say.
God bless and good night.
All right, folks. Again, that's been episode number 30. Check us out on twitch.com. That's Fat Earth Comedy. Jimmy's been pumping it up, and we play poker on there from time to time. So, yeah, check that out, Fat Earth Comedy on Twitch. And we'll give another plug to our buddy, Fish Guitar Lessons on YouTube, and then Mike and Maurice on YouTube. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good night. We'll be back next Friday with more scary ghost stories. We just we had a guest lined up for the night, and he something happened. We'll have to find out more about that next week. But I'm Moe Fungus.
I'm Jimbo Detroit.
And we'll talk to you next time.